If you're a fan of Young Bucks and Cody and the Elite, you're gonna know that on New Year's Eve at midnight, they dropped a brand new episode of Being the Elite. This was going to be the biggest episode in Being the Elite history. And boy, was it huge, because they announced that not only are they gonna run another event from All In, they're running Double or Nothing. They are actually going to start a wrestling promotion called All Elite Wrestling. And this is huge because All Elite Wrestling is that thing that's been circulating out there. We heard about the trademarks, we heard about everything, but All Elite Wrestling is now finally coming, and Double or Nothing is coming as well. And I think that All Elite Wrestling could possibly be the greatest thing to ever happen.
Hold on a minute, Tony. I think there's a few things that maybe we need to talk about before we can confirm whether or not AEW will actually be a major success or not.
All right, James, if you want to get into it, let's talk. The roster. My opinion is, I think the roster needs to have exclusive talent signed. Otherwise, it's not going to work. The way that it has to work is you have to get guys from New Japan, Independence, all over the world, maybe Impact Wrestling, whatever you want to do. You have to scoop them up and you have to get them to exclusive deals, because if they're not on exclusive deals, at any minute, they could get signed to other promotions. They could go to WWE, they could go to New Japan Pro Wrestling, they could go to Impact Wrestling, and that would just be bad for the All Elite Wrestling brand if these guys didn't have exclusive contracts.
I get what you're saying, Tony, but let's just be clear about this. This is supposed to be an alternative to the WWE. We aren't supposed to shackle superstars to contracts. We're supposed to give them the legitimacy to go out and actually earn a living and a name for themselves. Why would you want to be shackled to one promotion when you can go all over the world, market yourself, and bring that audience back with you? Don't do this to the roster, man. Okay, here's the thing, Tony. I believe that we are probably going to need some legends for AEW to prosper at least a little bit and get that name traction going. Sting, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair. If we can bring in some nice big brand names, we could get the steam rolling on this train and get some hype going.
I see what you're saying there, but I don't think they need as many legends as you're talking about. I mean, All In barely had any legends, and the show was a huge success. We can go back to what you said earlier about how these guys need to be free agents, travel all over the world, and make a name for themselves. Well, if those guys already have a name for themselves, coming into All Elite Wrestling, they'll already have that notoriety. The internet is huge nowadays. You have social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. These guys are making a name for themselves outside of anything else. Twitter is the best place to grow, and you see talents like a Joey Ryan, the Young Bucks. Even the reason All Elite Wrestling is being started because they have notoriety. They did All In, and it was huge, and I don't think they really do need any legends. They already have the Kenny Omega, the Cody, the Young Bucks, and I think that's, you know, they're gonna grow themselves based off of their names alone and keep the legends out of it.
Okay, Tony, now let's be completely fair with this one. They're gonna have to use traditional television. They've got so many different offers out there with people that can get them real airtime. They could go pretty much anywhere they wanted to. Even if they really wanted to, possibly to TNT. Think about that. A wrestling show back on there since Nitro had left. There's been nothing, and it's perfect. The other reason it's perfect at the moment as well is because if you really think about it, with SmackDown moving to Fridays and Impact moving to Fridays, they've got Tuesday to Thursday completely open and for the taking. They've trademarked actual names, like, what was it again? Taboo Tuesday or something? And I think it was something like that, but it was something along the lines. And the fact that they have this product that's surely going to grow, that television time alone is going to be worth so much with the roster of talent they're going to bring in.
I understand what you're saying, James, but honestly, I think they should stay as far away from television as possible. I mean, you have Twitch, you have YouTube, and you have Fight TV. Those are three huge platforms that I think they could use to make themselves a true alternative. Think about this. Never been done before. A wrestling promotion that runs live on twitch.tv, but they shout out subscribers, donations, bits, all of that makes it the most interactive wrestling promotion that you could possibly have. Also with YouTube, you can use that to put your clips on, highlights, video on demand. Even if you want to sell pay-per-views, they have that option on YouTube. And then finally, that final piece is Fight TV. They already did it with All In, and Fight TV would be the perfect spot for all of their pay-per-view events or their bigger shows, whatever you want to do there. And I think traditional television is it's the way the old way of looking at things, because if you think about it, more and more people are cutting the cord when it comes to television, and they're canceling it. They're going with just watching stuff online. And if you think about it, you think about the top Twitch streamers, they get like 200K, 300K viewers. I think that would be a huge audience, considering you're getting donations, bits, even build-in advertisers with Twitch. There's so much you could do, and I don't think television would be the right way to go. All right, James, if you want to get the biggest amount of people watching, I think going family friendly would be the best way to go. Now, if you look at it one way, you could say, oh, family friendly is going to be awful. It's going to be stupid. It's going to water down the product. But if you're smart enough, if you have talent behind there that can produce a good show, if you have good writers, I feel like family friendly can still be edgy and put on a good show. But I think if you're going to capitalize on the most people watching, you got to be family friendly.
Whoa, Tony. Let's just think about this properly. This is supposed to be an alternative to the WWE. It's not supposed to be a competitor to see how many kids they can get on the show. People don't want to sit there and watch more kids stuff regurgitated week after week after week, because when we really think about it, this is what we're supposed to be avoiding. We're supposed to have a genuine, different product that's supposed to bring us what we want to see, what we've been craving to see for years. Us, the fans who've been watching since the Monday Night Wars era. They want that high dramatic flair. They want those risky matches. They want everything that era brought us. They want things like a new Stone Cold and Vince McMahon era, and things that can really just go off randomly. They want the absolute nonsense along with the chaos and the absolute brilliance that came with the WWE title picture, but not on WWE television, because you're not going to get that anymore. You're going to get a watered down product, and this isn't what AEW should be. It should be a pure wrestling awesome product. Okay, Tony, so let's bring this up. The Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes really should be looking at booking this themselves, and the reason for that? They seriously have shown that they have an unequivocal mind for the business. Their unbelievable booking that they've done so far for All In was incredible, and a lot of that was done by themselves along with a few people out at the back, but they didn't have any writers, they didn't hire loads and loads of people. They did this themselves, and it came together beautifully. Now, I don't know if I can say the word on here, but let's just talk about a couple of druids. That was ridiculous, but it got over, didn't it? We had fantastic matches right through the night. We had a fatal 4-way with the women on there that was absolutely fantastic. We had a 6-man tag which was absolutely amazing. Kenny Omega versus Penta LM Zero. We had matches that just drew and drew and drew, dime after dime after dime, and that's why it should stay the same way.
I see what you're saying with the Young Bucks and Cody, but they're just putting their hands in too many baskets here. I mean, if you're going to book the shows, you're going to write the shows, you're going to get the talent, you're going to make a business, you're going to do all this from the ground up by yourself, that's just way too much. I think they need to lighten the load. They need to hire writers from the start that are going to be able to book these shows for them. Because if you're going to be an active talent, an active businessman, you're going to manage the day-to-day with that and try and run a business while writing the show, you're just putting too much on one plate. There's a reason that WWE is successful, and it's because Vince McMahon knows that he cannot do everything himself. He knows that he needs to have a team of writers behind him that can come up with other ideas that will help make the show successful. If these guys are going to go out there and they're going to continue to put on awesome matches, they're going to continue to promote like huge marquee events, trying to do all of that and write a show at the same time, I think it's going to be too much for them, and I think they definitely need to hire outside writers. All right, so I guess it's time to get to our final thoughts here, and I just have one question, and we should probably answer it at the same time to get a feel here. Do you ever think that All Elite Wrestling will be able to compete with WWE? I guess we can go on 3. 1, 2, 3. No.
No.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I think we've got the same idea here.
So
there's a reason why, isn't there? Let's be honest. It's not supposed to, is it?
Yeah, a true alternative to the WWE, not a copy, would still be successful in their own eyes. I mean, I don't think anybody's ever going to get to that level of the WWE, but that's not what they're going for with All Elite Wrestling. I believe that they're going for a true alternative, something that's different than the WWE. Do you agree?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, this is where you're supposed to have the alternative. This isn't just an alternative for the fans. It's an alternative for the superstars as well that have been shackled to the WWE's way of working for absolute years. Right now, the only safe harbor in WWE is NXT, and that's because it's offshore. It's Triple H's little baby. You notice that all the talent that goes up from NXT to WWE are immediately then shackled by the main roster's weird, archaic ways, I suppose. But if those guys that have been on the main roster for so long had an alternative, they knew they could leave and go somewhere and take their name value and not have to worry and scrimp about on the independent scene. They could go somewhere that is genuinely going to use their name and their value and get booked right because they're with people that are booking that they know they can trust. AEW is the perfect place for that.
True, I 100% agree. I think that they don't need to try and be that next WWE, that copy of WWE. It's just going to water them down. And again, WWE has their thing. It works. No other promotion is going to make a show as big as WrestleMania as it stands right now. The only thing that would make that happen is if there was a uprising in anarchy and maybe John Cena went to All Elite Wrestling or something. But I don't think that would ever happen. And I don't think
that would be incredible.
I don't think that's what they should strive for either. I feel like if they just continue to do what they did at All In and make that their focus of their product, and however they want to get the roster, the legends, the talents, the TV, the target audience, the booking, whatever they want to do to make that work, I think a success for them would be to create, you know, a buzz on the internet, a buzz anywhere, to have a stacked roster, to fill out the arenas and just make entertaining wrestling show. And I think that's what they want to do without going to WWE, because I don't think these guys, you know, the Young Bucks apparently got offered a deal to go to WWE and they turned it down. I'm sure Cody could go back to WWE whenever he wants, but this is their time and they're going to try to make All Elite Wrestling the most successful that they possibly could.
The great thing is that All Elite Wrestling will probably have a lot of links to other big promotions, New Japan, Ring of Honor, CMLL, any of the UK promotions as well, such as Red Pro. There's going to be a lot of options for them to also share talents. This really is going to be a big win for them. We could have the biggest open roster, possibly, in the history of wrestling right now since the AWA.
That's true. I believe we're on like a revolution. Everybody talks about the next pro wrestling boom. Well, I think we're currently in it, and we're going to see this boom happen with All Elite Wrestling, and it's just going to get even bigger and bigger in the internet. If they use it properly, I mean, like they did with All In and promoted it that way, I mean, they're going to do great things. So I want to leave it now here. Thank you, James, again for joining me for this little discussion back and forth.
It's always good to be on your side, Tony.
And I want to let you guys let me know in the comment section below. Do you agree with some of the points that we made with the roster, the legends, the TV, the target audience, the booking? Do you think All Elite Wrestling is going to be successful, or do you think it's going to be a big flop and maybe we'll see the Young Bucks and Cody in WWE? As always, I'm going to leave it there. If you guys do enjoy this, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and check out James over on VikingSizeGamer on his YouTube channel. I will link that in the description as well, and we will see you in another video.